Hi, Shelly here. In this week's project, I'm going to be working on a 16 by 20 inch hardboard canvas. I'm starting out by putting some marks onto plain old tissue paper that I either bought probably at Walmart or Amazon or the dollar store. I've got my dark gray paint out with a couple of brushes here, and I'm just making some different marks. I don't know whether I will use these today or ever, but it's just, for me, this kind of thing is a way to get started, a way for me to get my feet wet and get moving. And so yeah, that's what I'm doing here. Just having fun and hopefully making some interesting marks that I might want to use. I was watching a gal on Instagram yesterday who took this little pattern sewing, a sewing pattern marker wheel thing, and she made these little dots all over, and I just thought it was really cool. And I thought, I have one of those. That's really old in my sewing stuff, so I pulled it out and I'm giving it a try here. And it's not as easy to make great marks as I thought it was going to be. Either that or the kind of paint I'm using either isn't thick enough, or I don't know. But it works, as you can see, it works. But it's not quite the result I thought I was going to get with it. Now maybe I'm just too impatient and going too fast, and if I'd slow down and gently apply the roller. I think I've used these before. They're like little metal backing things for a drawer pull or a cabinet pull. I thrifted them a while back and thought they would be fun to use, and then now I'm using just some random leaves that I had in my stash that I've used on my gel plate before. And to finish off, I'm going to do a few spots with this potato masher. I'm thinking I want to do kind of a neutral background today, so I pull out my coffee dyed papers and I'm just going to go through here and tear and play and hopefully come up with a pleasing look. Once I get kind of a plan lined out, I gotta have a plan. I need that visual, kind of where am I headed, what am I trying to do here. It just helps me get moving. Even though this will not wind up looking quite like I just had it, I have a direction. Using my matte medium to put everything down and my little plastic scraper to make sure that I get all the excess cleaned up. Now I'm going through the tissue papers that I just made, pulling out a few of those and applying them here and there for some extra interest. And now I'll tap all over with my couple of baby wipes here just to make sure that I don't have any brush strokes and everything is nice and even. With my canvas drawing, I went through a bunch of gel prints and chose a bunch that I thought would go well together for what I want to do today. And I have these what I'm calling Moroccan shapes. I don't know if they have an actual, you know, they're on a lot of old tiles and stuff, been around for a long time. And so I went through and cut these out with my scan and cut. Now you could do any kind of shape you want and fussy cut all the papers you want. You do not have to have a cutting machine to do this kind of a project. I pulled some colors that I want to use that are in my gel prints, and I'm just going through with my palette knife and scraping some of those colors on here and there, putting some on, taking some off. For the blue, I just took a little bit of my Caribbean blue and added some dark gray into it to darken it up, grunge it up just a little bit. Once everything is dry, I'm going to go in with some off-white all over just to push everything to the background, just tone it down a little bit. And I still want to see the color, I still want to see a lot of my background, but I just want to tone it down a little bit. So I'm just using a brush, baby wipe, my fingers to do that. I used my long cutting mat for my scan and cut, and then I took 2 pieces of 12 by 12 cardstock, hooked them together with masking tape, and then cut this stencil out. And the only reason why I want to use this stencil is just to mark the places where I think I want to put. I don't want to have a solid block of these shapes. I just want to put some here and there. So this will help me decide where that here and there is going to be and guide me to put the actual shapes on. Now it's time to go through my gel print shapes and decide where I want what. As I'm going along here, I'm thinking I wish I had one more pattern to add into the mix. I like the amount of blue and green that I have, so I choose another print with the yellow, orange, and magenta in it. With my plan in place, I pull out the matte medium and start applying my shapes. Now right in here you'll see I get a little bit off and there's too much yellow showing. I didn't realize I had a couple of these just a little bit askew. At this point, I'm thinking I'm going to put a border around each of these possibly, and then I would cover up that where I've gone off. But in hindsight, I decided I like them without any kind of a border, and I wish I would have taken care of it at the time. So for you, if you're doing this and you see some that are off, take care of it at the time when your matte medium is still wet and it's super easy. But it can be done later on down the road if you have to. So here's where I've decided I'm not going to put an edge on each of these, and I need to go in and fix this area. So I'm going in with my palette knife with limited success and going to remove my gel prints. One of these, or two of them that I'm going to do, has the deli paper, is the deli paper that I like, that has it's more of a paper backing. A little bit waxy, but it's still more of a paper. One of these has the old plastic backing that I do not like, but man, was it nicer to take off. It was sure a lot easier to replace than this paper backed one. But it can be done. It just took a little bit more work, and I have plenty of Moroccan shapes left over to use to fix these. But as I'm looking here, I've got like 3 of them at least. They're just a little bit askew. The first one, and then they're all off from there. These three. So that's what I'm fixing. With my canvas dry, I can go in and clean up my edges with my X-Acto knife. I have gone back and forth and around trying to figure out if I want to do anything else to this canvas, but I keep coming back to the fact that I love it just like it is. So I'm going to leave it just like it is. It's got enough color. I love the background. I'm going to leave it just like this and love it. And I hope you all like it as well. Hey, thanks for joining me today, and I hope you'll join me in my next video. Bye for now.